Last year, the Talent Board Candidate Experience Report stated that video was going to be the #1 technology investment companies make for 2019. So how do we know that video is getting adopted across organizations? What kind of adoption are we seeing? And what kind of impact is video having to the candidate experience and the hiring process at large? We're going to be discussing all that and more right now. In May 2019, VideoMyJob and SocialTalent commissioned research to investigate how and why talent acquisition is using video in the recruiting process. Today, I have on the show co-founder and VP of Growth for one of the fastest growing HR technology platforms, VideoMyJob, so we can discuss the state of video in talent. Please welcome my guest, Kristen Graham. Thanks for joining me, Kristen.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to be here.
So right now you're in London. Where are you staying in London?
Farringdon, which is close to King's Cross, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last year, the Talent Board put out its Candidate Experience Report, and it stated that video was going to be one of the #1 technologies that companies were going to be investing in 2019. We're coming to the close of 2019. We're in Q4 right now. How do we know that video has started to get adopted across various organizations?
Yeah, look, good question. I think we're still a long way away from video being the norm in HR and recruitment. I think we've certainly seen a growth on our platform where our clients are 10% month on month growing adoption and output of video. So I think, it is still early days though. I think companies know they need to do something. In a recent survey we did, 57% of the respondents say that video is a part of their current strategy. However, there's majority of the respondents said that in 2020 will be is where they'll start to roll out video more prominently within the recruitment space. So I think I think most companies know they need to do something, and video will form a part of whether it's their employer brand or recruitment marketing, or maybe not. They may not start with job ads. They might not even get to the point of creating video for job ads as such. But I think more and more companies are realising that they need to put video into their strategy, whether it's the big budget. I think big budget video is becoming less and less attractive to companies because, candidates want transparency, I suppose. But it's either way, whether it's selfie style on your camera or big budget. I think it is definitely on the radar for most organisations. It's just the big how.
Yeah. So you mentioned a survey that VideoMy had done. Tell me a little bit about that survey and what was the main purpose of it?
Yeah, look, I think the main purpose is that, 4 years ago when we started out in the industry, particularly focusing on job ads and improving text-based jobs with video, there was no data at all. And still today, up until now, there has been no real data on video within the recruitment and HR space. I think there's loads of data around video and the importance of video from a consumer perspective and marketing, but there's never been any data. So we teamed up with SocialTalent and went out to thousands and thousands of recruiters all over the world. We had a great
Johnny Campbell. Woo woo.
The boys in green, love those guys. So boys and girls, sorry, in green. over 600 respondents across 53 countries. And there were 47 questions that took, on average, about 7 minutes to complete. So, yeah, it is today's biggest state of video report, I suppose, and some really good insights. And I think, of those that have embedded video into their recruitment workflow, 85% of them are experiencing return on investment, which it's a pretty incredible stat, really, to think that it is early days, and if they're getting results, you would think a lot more companies will follow.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I've done video for close to 18 years now, but when I was in the RPO, that's when it really started taking off. And not every single video was successful, right, at driving traffic or attracting the right candidates. Sometimes our messaging was off. Sometimes just the platform in which we hosted it on failed, whatever. There's 1,000 different reasons, right? It's just like if you watch a TV commercial. Not every TV commercial is a home run. Not every single one works out. The messaging, flops or whatever. But that doesn't stop you from continuing to create video. We just did more and more and more, and we got better and better at it. Why do you think talent acquisition specifically has been so slow on the uptake?
Look, I think the recruitment industry and different regions, I think, there's more mature regions with their recruitment process. But I feel that technologies like video is, in most organisations' mind, a nice to have, I think, rather than a need to have. But as we continually customers adopt to video, they are seeing the return on investment, and they are starting to see that it is a need to have because there's so much noise out there. So I think the noise that recruitment teams have faced are typically volumes or, around candidate attraction and retention. So they look to technologies that automate and help them with typical hiring metrics around quality of hire and time to fill and all of those type of metrics that an organisation, I suppose it's, getting a bum on the seat as quick as possible is ultimately saving them money. But we kind of play in the space of getting the right bum on the right seat in the right time. And I think video can certainly help declutter applications by giving them more information up front about the opportunity. Like never before, candidates can actually benchmark themselves out of the position. And I think that plays in well when candidates learn more about the opportunity, they do more research, they become more engaged, and typically clients are being able to have a better quality shortlist that have applied to the role. And we've seen this.
A lot of companies, they don't really understand that video and any really job description, but video job description specifically, can be used as a candidate attraction tool, but it can also be used as a candidate repulsion tool, right? So you can narrow down your candidates by saying, look, do not apply unless you've got 5 years this, 3 years that, which turns away the candidates that are not qualified for the position. I know we used to get fry chefs at McDonald's responding to Java software engineering positions. The person had no job. They had no reason applying for that job other than they needed to apply to a job for some reason, right? So
we worked with a client. We're about to launch out another product of the VideoMyJob family, which is called, well, actually the name's up for grabs at the moment, but it is a video response tool. So a customer can put out a video job ad and then actually get video applications back. So this is great for volume type roles where you're getting thousands and thousands of applications. And one of our clients recently had some great success with their grad program. Now they've got a consumer brand, and with the young folk or the young grads coming out of university wanting to join, one of their idol products like CoverGirl or Max Factor, so beauty products. They were receiving thousands and thousands of applications for, a handful of grad positions. So being able to put criteria of application with a video onto the process saved them loads and loads and loads of hours of screening. But more importantly, it saved them their brand. They were able to give the candidate a better experience because they had only a handful of applications. So the quality was increased, the engagement was increased, and they didn't have to let down thousands and thousands of people or poor fit candidates. So, that's
a better candidate experience, right? I mean,
100%.
So it's not just the ones that go through your process, but it's also the ones that don't go through because they're not going to get hired anyway, right? So you're increasing your brand experience that way.
That's right. And then on the other scale of, sorry, it might be a bit noisy here. On this other side of the scale where you've got, for example, Siemens, they look for, engineers that can weld and scuba dive at the same time. And, how do you find one of them? So, they've been experiencing a lot more applications applying for their rare skill sets by using video. So being able to tap in, to their fans, to their subscribers on their YouTube channel. And as we all know, video gets shared 20 more times than text or a picture. So you're more likely to tap into the right talent when using video. And Siemens also have been experiencing some really great results from using video across their social platforms. And when they drive traffic from those videos onto their job page, the candidates are saying much more longer. Well, the typical time on page on a job ad in their careers site is about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. When the candidate's being driven from a video job ad onto the job page, they're staying for an additional 4 minutes. So that's 8 minutes and 40 seconds on a job page. You're going to get more engagement.
Yeah, that practically doubling the amount of time that a candidate is spending with your brand. Hopefully you're using that to sell and tell your story, right? You sell and tell a story, you're going to have a much better and much easier time of convincing a candidate to move from candidate to applicant to actually being hired. The average, I think, is like 7 seconds that a candidate is going to spend, just like a recruiter. They're going to spend 3 to 5 seconds reading your resume. Well, guess what? Candidates spend about 5 to 7 seconds reading your job description. But if you had a video, obviously by that stat, your one customer, Siemens, was able to increase candidate engagement by 100%. Is that what you?
Yeah. 4 minutes. 4 minutes is that's incredible. When a job ad is typically 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. Some are longer, and I know you're a fan of longer videos. But I think, that's an interesting stat of 7 seconds because, in fact, 5 million video, I think it's 5 billion or 5 million. I should know that stat.
A bunch of zeros after it, right?
I think it's 5 billion. It is 5 billion videos are watched every day on YouTube.
Yeah, 5 billion.
So, and the average watch time is 8 seconds. So, same thing goes. You've got to nail the engagement, or we call it the hook. You've got to have a hook in your video. And if you're going to use those 8 seconds to introduce yourself, hi, I'm Kristen, I'm from VideoMyJob, blah, blah, blah. you're going to waste that candidate's time, and they're going to just they'll skip through it. So you've really got to make an impact in the first 8 seconds, and then really focus on the what's in it for me, for the body of the video, and then make sure you've got a call to action at the end if your video isn't embedded into a job ad.
Don't just regurgitate what's in the text-based job description. They should be talking about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of this position. Talk about the culture, talk about really why the candidate should go work for this organization. That's really what's going to convince them.
Yeah, absolutely. And get as much footage of the team in there and the environment they're working. So right now you can see my background. I'm working out of a WeWork today, and it's a really groovy office. But, you know, if you're recording on a white wall behind you, is, you know, the point of video is to bring the job to life. Show the candidate as much as you can about the position, about the culture, about the environment they're working in, so they can start to imagine themselves working in your organisation. So,
So besides just creating video job ads, what are some other use cases for video in the recruiting process?
Look, we started, as you know, 3.5 years ago, changing the way the world recruits using video in job ads. But today on the platform, our clients, 6,000 plus recruiters in 53 countries, creating thousands and thousands of videos every month, and 37% of them are, in fact, job ads, but 63% are everything else. So candidate nurturing type videos. So thanks for your application. Here's what to expect next. Yeah. So really managing their expectations about the recruitment process. And congratulations on interview. Here's what to expect at interview. We do behaviour-based interviews, so come prepared with 3 experiences around customer success, or, you know, right through to congratulations, you've got the job, the paperwork's in the mail, don't forget to fill out your I-9 form, this is how to do it. So all those types of candidate nurturing messages is what we believe will ultimately return on investment for efficiencies, creating efficiencies rather than your recruiters, you know, doing this all day. You can actually create some really cool efficiencies using video. The other thing we've noticed is video bios are a new way to bring insights into your employees by ensuring every hiring manager, certainly every recruiter, should have a video bio, not only on their LinkedIn, but also in their email signature. And that can be a really quick way to integrate video into your workplace. And you can have, you know, you can store them on your website, meet such and such. You can store them on a job ad, meet such and such, learn more about your hiring manager. Or, you know, it is just a great way to get employee-generated content out there. And it's a kind of a fun way because you're talking about yourself rather than a job. You should know yourself well enough to talk about yourself for 60 seconds. So that's a great way. And then the other areas that they're using video is for company updates. So instead of executives sending long, clunky, boring emails that no one reads, doing a video update that can be shared instantly, you know, whether it's on your intranet or whether it's through an internal email that you can then track and see who's opened it and who's clicked on the link, if there's a click on the link. We've got companies talking on video about how important an employee engagement survey is. And last year we delivered this, this and this for you, and this year we need your help. So click the link below and it'll take you 5 minutes to do your employee engagement survey.
So you've got lots of different use cases here. You've got internal communications, you've got surveys, you've got obviously various pieces of the recruiting process, not only through attraction, but also onboarding and, just welcoming new hires into the organization. I know that there's been a lot of talk. I've seen like 1,000 videos right now on YouTube, how to make your video go viral. These videos don't need to go viral though, do they? No.
No, they don't need to go viral. Look, if you're attracting 10 views, for example, and you think, oh, I must say, there's no silver bullet to recruitment, as we all know. You've got to do a lot of things well to succeed in the recruitment. As a recruiter, whether you're an agency or in-house, you've got to do a lot of things well. There's just no silver bullet, and no technology will give you the result. You've got to do a lot of things well, and recruitment marketing and employer brand type videos are a way to bring the inside out and share stories about your organisation. So, oh no, I've just forgotten your question.
Yeah, from lots of different perspectives, right? The concept was viral, right? You don't need to have a video
viral,
job go viral, right? So I know that some people are saying, well, I got to have my video go viral. Well, viral means that there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people looking at that video, right? So with a video job ad, though, you don't need, most of the video job ads that I put out, if they had 50 or 100 views, that was a lot. I only needed 20, 30, because 20 or 30 candidates that look at it are going to turn into 10 qualified interested. And that's all I really needed to fill that one single job. If you've got a evergreen job, or you're doing mass hiring, like hundreds of positions, then I could definitely see some value in getting more traction on it. But it better be a damn good video, because talent acquisition videos are not the most exciting, right? The content just isn't applicable to be viral.
That example that I mentioned earlier, the grad program, that video had something like 20,000 views, but 30 applicants. So they still got their brand story out there.
Right.
It didn't cost them a cent, by the way. They just used their own social media. So their Facebook, they actually put it on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and shared it around. And it kind of did go a little bit viral, because it was an interesting way that people had to apply. But yeah, the videos that we've recruited for ourselves usually get around 1,000 views, because we believe that it's not just the active candidates that you want to reach out to, and social media or talent pooling or using LinkedIn to headhunt and send them a video. So all those things as a recruiter that you normally do, you will do your own research on LinkedIn or Facebook. You will put a job ad up. You may even use your LinkedIn feed or YouTube and send email to your talent pools. But putting a video in there does help with engagement. I think it's like 75% are more likely to open and view the video than as it would be just with text. So I think, the expectation of creating a video is one thing, and popping it on a job ad will definitely get more engagement of active job seekers. But it's unlikely to be shared if you're housing it in an active job board where that's all, you've only got that amount of audience. But if you're going to share it elsewhere, and as a recruiter you should be doing everything possible to reach the right best talent for that role.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole objective is to get more eyeballs on the video, right? So distribution far and wide, or for whatever distribution channels you're using, whether you're pushing it out on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube certainly, or Vimeo, whatever, wherever your tribe is, or the tribe that you're trying to hire, that's where you should be putting it out on. But I know traditional recruiters have been the ones responsible for attracting candidates. I mean, they're the candidate ambassador, if you will. Who's responsible for making video within the organization? Is it only the recruiters? Is it only the hiring managers that have a position to fill right now? Who would you say has responsibility overall for creating video content?
I've been in recruitment 19 years, Jeff, nearly 20. And I tell you what, if I was recruiting, and I've also been a hiring manager of big teams and small, and if I am not doing my absolute best to have input into whoever's going to join my team, if I can get on video and help the recruiter get the very best talent for my team, I'm going to do that. So if a hiring manager is available, and, you know, with technology now, like our platform, you can capture content wherever the hiring manager is in the world. Ideally, people want to hear from a hiring manager. I think the stats, like 75% of candidates trust hearing an authentic video job ad from an employee rather than a recruiter or a highly polished corporate video. So where possible, get a hiring manager or an employee that does the same job that you're recruiting for on camera. And as a recruiter, you could be sitting next to them, interviewing them. So tell me about your team. What are you looking for? What sort of skill sets will help this person be successful in the role? What makes this job interesting? Why do you get up in the morning to come here? You know, all of those interesting facts, not regurgitating the job ad, because they can read that. We believe that there is still a place for text-based job ads. But yeah, I think you're engaging them at just that next level. And the thing is, Jeff, I think it's even more, but 48 million job ads are advertised around the US alone every year. Like, that's crazy, ridiculous. And there are a lot of duplicates, as you can imagine. But how do you stand out? How does a company actually stand out? And then put yourself in the candidate's shoes. How do they actually choose their next career?
So here's a quick tip for recruiters that are having difficulty getting started. They don't know what to say. They don't know what information they should be saying on camera. Whatever your intake meeting is for bringing in that job, before you start sourcing and recruiting on it, just record your intake meeting. Whatever questions you ask during the intake meeting, add a couple of why questions. Why should a candidate be interested in this opportunity? You know, why would a candidate want to go work for your department or even for you as a hiring manager? You ask those types of questions, you're answering the whys, and you're having it come from the hiring manager's mouth. That's
and what's a showstopper? What does the candidate must what does the candidate must have experience in, or do they need to know a certain language?
Yep.
Or experience in certain development stacks? What is it that is absolutely necessary to be successful in the role? I think is also good. Call that. Ultimately, you're only saving everyone's time and energy. So, yeah.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about this survey. What were some of the most critical, eye-opening stats that came out of this? You're just like, wow, we were not expecting that.
Well, 57% of the respondents that were using video already in their workflow were getting really good return on investment. So adoption, the surprise was adoption, but the customers that have taken on, they're early adopters in the industry essentially. but they're getting the return on investment, which is great. Excellent. It's a really important.
Are the first ones to get killed, right?
Exactly.
Technology fails, the product doesn't work. They're not getting an ROI. So the fact that they're doing a video and still getting an ROI, return on investment, is absolutely astounding at this stage of the game, right?
Yeah, and 97%, which is pretty high. Few obviously won't, but 97% who currently use video will continue to use video. So that says a lot as well. But the most impact that the actual videos are having within their space is engagement. So candidate engagement, candidate attraction, but most important is the candidate experience. Now, we've been yapping on about candidate experience, and you opened this call with the talent board, and candidates are screening for better job descriptions, and they have been for years. So if we talk about if companies are really care about candidate experience and what impact a good candidate experience can have to their business, video is the answer. Video is one way that it truly is giving them the authentic communication rather than an empty black and white text email, or sometimes in some instances, I think the stats at the talent board still say that there's a lot of candidates that never hear back. It's a big black hole when you apply for a job. So being able to build in a more authentic, personalised, that I don't know, Jeff, I'm pretty sure we're similar age, vintage. But years ago when the fax rolled off, the job, requirement rolled off the fax, and you picked up the fax and you'd do all your research and grab your CVs and print them out, and then you'd walk down the street to meet your client and represent those candidates face to face. That was what I was used to, and I think it's face to face that makes the whole experience. Bringing back there's so much talk about robots and they're going to take over our jobs in recruitment, and I think there's definitely chatbots and AI or machine learning can certainly help take over that heavy load, but what it can't do is put a human element to the process. So our technology is all about bringing that face to face.
With deep videos, it may be able to soon. So don't speak too quickly. So, and
who knows?
I'm having that conversation a little bit later on today for another recording session. So we're going to end it here, but we do have another session called After Hours. So I'm going to be asking some very critical questions to Kristen. So you're definitely going to want to stick around. Questions like, what metrics talent acquisition leaders should be looking at when they're considering putting together a video campaign? What are some of the biggest hurdles that you're going to have when rolling out video inside your organization? So stick around on After Hours. Kristen, thank you so much for joining me on the Speaker Agenda Show. Always a pleasure to see you. I hope you're in the States sometime so we can get together and have another beer.
January next year.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great one.
Bye.